Hello and welcome. It is 1 o'clock. We'll start shortly. We'll just give it 1 more minute for people to join. And hey, John.
Hi, Magdalena. How are you?
It's really hard to see you, hear you. I can see you really well, but the voice, yep, you might have to move some. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Maybe closer.
Not any better? How's that?
Tad better. Okay.
Just a tad? Let me put up the volume.
Just a tad.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fabulous. Okay. We are going, it's 1 o'clock, so we're going to start on time. I will take questions at the end of the presentation. So please enter them in the Q&A box. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Magdalena Panurska. I am the Director of Operations at the Montessori School Rochester in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and a co-founder of the Global Montessori Network. Today, I have the privilege to talk to you about attracting and maintaining best-in-class talent through leading with your heart. Before becoming part of the Montessori community, I spent 15 years working in a corporate world. Part of my corporate journey was the space of human resources, and I am very passionate about the subject and always look for ways of bringing the corporate into the Montessori and Montessori into the corporate. Walt Disney said, "You can dream, create, design, and build the most wonderful places in the world, but it requires people to make the dream a reality." The most important decision that business people make are not what decisions, but the who decisions, states Jim Collins, author of Good to Great. So who we hire makes all the difference. We've all hired and encountered people who seemed perfect on paper. Their resumes check every box and they have all the right skills. When they get down to work, they fail miserably. We've also met people who take new roles without a shred of experience and then knock the ball out of the park. So what's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't? The answer is potential. Potential is the ability to adapt to and master increasingly complex roles and environments. In a few minutes, we'll talk about what potential is and how to find it. But first, let's look at how talent spotting has evolved over time. For thousands of years, humans made choices about one another based on strength. If you wanted to build a pyramid, fight a war, or harvest a crop, you chose the strongest and healthiest person you could find. These attributes were easy to assess and compelling. As a side note, we still unconsciously look for them. Fortune 500 CEOs, for example, are about 2 inches taller than the average American. In the 20th century, brains mattered more than anything else in hiring, especially for white-collar jobs. Positions were being standardized and professionalized across companies and industries. So certifications, degrees, and test scores were considered good indicators of future performance. If you needed an engineer, accountant, lawyer, or CEO, you looked for someone with the right experience and excellent credentials. In the 90s, the competency movement began to take hold. Technology was speeding ahead, shaking up industries, and altering the nature and complexity of work to be done. Companies could no longer rely on past experiences and performance to predict someone's future success. Instead, hiring managers broke jobs down into competencies and looked for candidates with the right combination of them. This approach to hiring and talent management is still widely used. So what matters today? We're now at the dawn of a new era, and we need to turn our focus on potential. Today's competitive landscape is constantly shifting. In such uncertain environment, it is impossible to predict what skills employees and leaders will need even in a few years. What makes someone successful in a particular role today may not matter at all tomorrow. Hence, we should not be asking whether people have the right skills. We should be asking whether they have the potential to learn new ones. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is potential? Research points to 5 key characteristics. As I'm describing each one of them, take a few minutes to jot down the names of employees or teachers in your school that come to your mind. By the end of this presentation, you will walk away with a list of your high potential employees. So number one is motivation. Fierce ambition coupled with deep personal humility and a commitment to collective goals. So ask yourself, is, for example, Sally someone that is highly ambitious and has incredible commitment to the school and to the children? Second one is curiosity. Curiosity about new experiences, knowledge, and honest feedback. When you think about your employees, maybe Jack is someone that is always asking for opportunity to learn new things. Insight. A talent for gathering information and having the insight to make connections that others don't see. You can think of, who is my employee who always looks outside of the box? Who is the one that always has those brilliant ideas? Engagement. A knack for engaging with people to communicate a persuasive vision. So when you think about your employees, who is your biggest community outreach liaison? Sally, maybe? She is always engaged with the community and knows exactly what's happening. And the last one, determination. Determination to achieve difficult goals and bounce back from adversity. So again, when you think about your employees, your guides, your teachers, is Joey the one that always jumps through the hoops and gets things done? So now that you have a list of employees, guides, teachers on paper or in your head, look at those individuals and ask yourself, how do I create opportunities for them? How do I promote from within? very often we do forget to promote from within. So that's a good question to ponder. Together, those 5 qualities trump IQ, experience, and specialized skills. Now, let's talk a little bit about a new approach or a different approach to talent management. We'll be focusing on 3 critical areas in managing talent: hiring the best people, keeping them engaged and motivated, and allowing them to excel. So how do I hire people with high potential? The first step is master the art of interviewing. So go into the candidate's history, both personal and professional. Look for stories that demonstrate whether the person has or lacks the key qualities. For instance, don't just ask, "Are you curious?" Ask instead, how do you react when someone challenges you? How do you invite input from others on your team? What steps do you take to seek out the unknown? What have you learned from the situation? As you are talking to this person and interviewing them, look for signs that the person believes in self-improvement, truly enjoys learning, and is able to recalibrate after missteps. Here's an example. Amazon. Consider how Amazon improves its odds in hiring top talent. It has hundreds of dedicated internal recruiters and great training programs on how to conduct assessments. It also has a staff of bar raisers. Those are skilled evaluators who are empowered to endorse or veto candidates. So ask yourself, at my school, do I have individuals that are bar raisers? Who are they? And how can I get them involved in the hiring process? The next question is, how do I retain good people? So now that we hire them, we want to keep them. So the big question is, what do employees want from an employer? Research shows that most of us are energized by 3 things: freedom to direct our own lives, a desire to excel, and to wish to serve a larger purpose through our work. Of course, money is important, but not as much as you might think. In a study of successful people who left their companies for more senior positions, only 4% said that money was the main reason for their departure. So what are the main things that we should look at? The first one is autonomy. How are we able to provide and foster the culture of autonomy? There are many different aspects of how to do that, and in all honesty, that's a separate webinar. But the key components of fostering the culture of autonomy are empathy, logic, and authenticity. The next component is learning from mistakes. Do not be afraid to share your mistakes and highlight what the lessons learned are from them. Employees really appreciate that. Next one is communicate regularly. I personally actually would say over communicate and use different channels. There was a study done a few years ago that highlighted that for a message to truly land with a person, you need to communicate it 7 times. Communicate 7 times and communicate through different channels. The last component is mastery. So create opportunities to grow and learn. When I say grow and learn, this is more than I'm just going to send my employees to training and I'm done. I'm just going to check off my box. Actually, think outside of that box. How do I give my teachers and guides opportunities to present in front of their peers? How can they present or write a blog for the parents? Can they possibly record some podcasts? The opportunities are endless. So again, just try thinking outside of the box. Additionally, think about creating opportunities for employees to collaborate or mentor. Make sure that you have in place mentorship program. Informal programs work great and they are okay. However, if you really want to succeed, implement a formal mentorship program. The results you will get within your team are going to be astounding. Purpose. Purpose is about empathy. It defines the human needs and desires that a company's product and services ultimately fulfill. This is especially true in the school environment. Employees crave an understanding on how their work makes a difference in their lives and in lives of others, especially through stories told by customers, in our case that would be parents, and colleagues themselves. Talking about the work of an organization through personal stories, such as customer and employee testimonials, will illustrate how employees are addressing real-world issues that affect real people. When these human interest stories are illuminated, employees, teachers, guides can personally identify with the impact that they have, see the difference that their work makes in people's life, and be more inspired at work. And inspiration, we definitely want that. The good news is that these stories already exist. They just needed to be told. So as a leader, take on telling those stories. The big question is, how do we build the workforce of our future? So if the potential is the key to the 21st century talent spotting, isn't every company that has a high potential program already on the right track? Well, not necessarily. Most of those programs are filled with people who have done well in the past. What you need is people with the ability to tackle tomorrow's challenges. Start by looking for people who are motivated to serve the greater good, because it's a stable quality and usually unconscious. If someone is driven by a selfish motives, that's not likely to change. Make sure your candidates have the other hallmarks of potential: curiosity, insight, engagement, and determination. Once you've hired for those qualities, your top priority should be retaining and developing the people. That's how to build a workforce that will learn and grow as the world keeps changing. Thank you. I left 10 minutes for questions. So I will switch right now to the Q&A. There we go. Okay. Yes, the question is, will this PowerPoint be available to everyone? All of our sessions are recorded. The PowerPoint decks are available along with the video and along with the audio. They are posted on the Global Montessori Network website, and we are sharing them on Facebook, and and they are available on the website.
Magdalena,
any
may I
other
interject?
questions?
Oh, you have another question. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't see any other questions. So I will give you guys 10 minutes back of your, oh, one more question. There we go. The question is, how much all this can cost as a percentage? I am not clear of what the actual question is. If I may speculate, so in the corporate, on average, to hire someone from the start to the end, the whole process costs anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000. I would say, based on the experience I had in the Montessori world, I would say anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 to hire a new person, new teacher, or a new guide. Hence my strong recommendation and belief to promote from within. Look for the guides or the assistants that you already have and are working with you, with your community, and ask yourself, what can I do to grow them?
Magdalena, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can. I would like to interject for a quick moment, particularly when Magdalena was discussing autonomy, mastery, and what was the last one? Purpose.
Purpose.
And with those three concepts, we can really relate them to what we're doing in our classrooms with our children. Autonomy is what children are seeking in that independence. Mastery is through the practice of skills and through what we give them as guides in the classroom so that they can continue to practice and continually move towards mastery. And then purpose, we're always looking for watching and observation how the children work with purpose. And when you take what those three elements that we do naturally in the Montessori classrooms and apply them to our team members, that's where you're going to begin to promote them in a very natural way that we always communicate with children, also for our team members. And when you work that way, as Magdalena said, we found over the past year that we've had to hire out of our team members very rarely, because the potential that we're seeing inside of our individual guides and assistant guides, as well as administrative team members, we're able to foster within them their innate talents or gifts that then allow them to work towards their full potential, and with a ambition and excitement for not only the job that they are doing, but for the growth that they're seeing occur within the school. And that allows for ownership, which further promotes that feeling of autonomy, that they're not only trusted, but through their independence, they're able to collaborate with their team members. We found much success in this. The difference in the dynamics with the team that we've had for a number of years, that team has changed very little, particularly with the leading members of the team in our lead guides. We've watched in this past year the team of guides and administrators come together in a way that we've never seen in the past, with their eagerness, their excitement, and their investment in the whole school and not just their classrooms.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was a great addition. Again, we'll post all the materials. They will be available within 24 hours. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 1 o'clock.